My goodness, you guys, it is Friday. I cannot believe how fast the weeks are going. I'm feeling really good. The weather is nice. It's not quite as sunny today as I had hoped, but that's okay because it's Friday. I love it. So I am really excited because today in Friday Friends, I have one of my most fun people in my circle of network, and it's Myhriah Young. And I am so excited. I was with her a couple of Fridays ago doing um talking about the sales disc personality thing. So I wanted to make sure that I gave her the opportunity to come back and talk to us more about sales and entrepreneurship and blah blah blah. And I might have just wanted to have fun today because it's Friday and fun Friday friends sounds really good. So, with that being said,
Hello.
hello, lady. How are you?
Oh, I am so good. Thanks for having me on, friend. Oh
I'm
my
so
gosh.
excited. I know, right? It's always so much fun when we get to hang out. In fact, we were just talking before we came on. We were just talking about how, is there any way we could like do this every Friday and
I
get to
know,
have this much fun?
right?
It's
I love it.
so true. It is so
Oh,
true. So
I love
I
your
am so
energy.
excited to be hanging out with you again. I love doing this Friday Friends. And hey, for those of you that aren't on my email list and don't have aren't members of the circle yet, where advocates surround patients with support, I'm going to encourage you to go to thepowerfulpatient.com and get connected with us there because I have a really special offering for members of the circle that has to do with Friday Friends. So, not going to make that a public announcement, but if you join us over there, you'll get in on the fun. So, Myhriah, hi, I'm so
Hi.
excited to talk to you more about this whole idea of sales and what that means. I think I've shared many times that I ended up in sales and didn't even really know that that's what I was wanting to do. So I guess my question for you to kind of kick things off is like when you're an entrepreneur, how do you know that you're in sales? Like what is that? Like how are we
Oh,
supposed to know? Because I thought it was all about running the business and making, important
right,
decisions and, stuff like
right.
that. I really didn't know
I
that it
love
had to
that.
do with sales. How does that work?
Such a great question, Nicole. I can feel that because I've been a serial entrepreneur for such a long time, which our stories are opposite, right? Because you didn't intend to become an entrepreneur, but I knew when I was a kid that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted my own
Oh,
business. So I've always been in this world. And most of us get into a business because we have a passion that we need to fill, right? We have something that is either
right.
keeping us up at night, we see a pain point that we can help fill, we have a reason, and it gets us excited to wake up and work, right? But then you get into the actual reality of owning a business and you realize, well, crap. I need people. I need money. I've got to like actually make profit to pay my bills and to keep this going. I can't be a charity.
Right.
And so I think your question is so perfect because we do find, with the work that I do, I talk to entrepreneurs all day, all week. That's what I do. And so often there is this misconception of when you're a business owner, you are in sales, whether you like it or not. Yeah, fortunately and unfortunately. And I think the problem is with the word sales.
Mm.
All of us sell, every single one of us, whether it
All
is
day long, right?
right. If you're a mom trying to get your toddler to eat the broccoli on their plate, how do you sell that? You know, and all the way
It
to
was green
how,
peppers at my house, just so you know. It was green peppers. That's what I had to sell to the kid. It was not
yes,
good.
for me it was spinach. Ugh, as a
Yeah.
kid I hated it. Ugh. I didn't subject my kids to that. I will say.
That's great.
So, if you are a business owner, you are in sales. But sales does not have to be ugly and scary. And it doesn't make you the what do we always say, the plaid suited sales guy
Used
on
car
car
salesman.
salesman.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So finding how to fall in love with sales and make it a part of your process is a very good thing.
Mm, right. So how do you do that? How do you do that? Like, what are some
Yeah.
of the keys that you found to be helpful? I know that, for me, I had some really key pivotal moments, right, where I was able to make some shifts and make some connections with sales that I hadn't been able to do previously. So, what kinds of things do you see that are helpful for entrepreneurs to kind of make that connection and find their comfort zone with sales?
Yeah, such a good question. So, Nicole, you and I, when we first started chatting, and of course, our energy matches so well, so much fun. We could have a party very easily every time we talk.
Every day, if we're
I
not,
love
yeah.
it. And that's part of knowing yourself. I think getting one of the things that I love as a tool for entrepreneurs is the disc sales profile. I
Mm.
love this because getting to know yourself and what fits for you. When you enter the business world, there's all these mentors ready to tell you all these things that you need to do, right? Write a book, have a
Right.
podcast, you need to have sales funnels, click to blah, 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 email processes, all
Mhm.
this stuff. That can be really overwhelming. And
Yeah.
so knowing who you are, knowing your personality can really
Mm.
help you to hone in on where your strengths are. Are you going to shine in the sales process? Now, granted, yes, we still have to do a portion of this, but there are ways when you know that you could say, okay, like for myself, I am really strong in talking to people on the phone. I love it. It's my favorite. I enjoy conversations, but for a S or C personality, excuse me, that would be a steady creative. Those are a little more introverted type of
Mhm.
personalities. That's a nightmare. Talking to people on the phone all day, it might give them extreme anxiety. And
Yeah.
so knowing that about yourself, you can delegate hopefully some of that,
Mm.
but also make sure
Okay.
that your day is filled more with the things that make sense for who you are.
Okay. Nice. I love that. I love that. I share a lot in the circle about, structuring our weeks in ways that are complementary to our energy. I think I've shared with you before, like, generally speaking, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are my like high energy, activities. So I do almost all of my sales and consultation calls on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I do, all of my front facing work, generally speaking, on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and do less of that activity, on those other days so that I can kind of rejuvenate my energy. And,
Mhm.
I love that you mentioned the sales disc profile because I know when you and I went through it, I learned a ton
Yeah.
about, me and why I had previously, I would have people ask me, how is your sales ratio so good? How do you close so many people? And the truth was, I didn't really know. I just knew that I did it.
Mhm.
And as we went through that sales disc process, I was like, oh, that makes sense. It
Mhm.
was because there were some natural strengths that I had that were contributing to that. And then also understanding when I needed to back off on some of that to match somebody else's personality. Um, Talk
Yeah.
just a little bit about that, like,
Yeah.
how that helps with relations through the sales process.
Yeah. Let me back up a little bit on that because if people aren't familiar with DISC, some are and some aren't. There, in fact, the ones that are, there's usually somewhat of a negative connotation from old ways of doing disc, and it has been, companies have implemented it, and then they did things like put their animal sticker on their name tags, and then everybody treats you like that particular personality. Listen, we're so nuanced. Disc is just a small piece. The reason I love it is because it's a behavior and personality assessment. And so what it can help you to see is the habits that you may have. And like you said, you instinctively implemented some of the things. You didn't have the words to articulate necessarily why you were so good at that, but your behaviors already, you instinctively implemented those. So the newest, more modern disc is a fantastic tool. And disc is D is driven, I is influencer, and interactive. We like interactive more. S is steady, and C, we used to call it conscientious thinker, but what that did is it put people in, like, everybody always thought that was a CPA or, you know, that kind of person, but that's not necessarily true. They're actually very creative. They're organizationally creative. So knowing that about yourself is really great. But where the power comes in the profile is that it also shares you how to work along other personalities, how to communicate, motivate, incentivize, all of those things. But then a really big key, which you kind of hit on, is it also teaches you how to sell to the different personalities. And I know you and I have talked about this. For example, if you are selling to a driven type personality, they're very direct and to the point. They don't want a lot of fluff. They don't need a lot of information. They are going to, you give them what they need. And if they know, like, and trust you, they're going to buy from you, and they will buy from you always, probably, right? Because they don't like shopping around. They want to get it done. Boom. A lot of people think they're mean. And we've had that conversation. They're not. In fact, they're great clients because they know what they want. If you give it to them and you're quick and you're succinct, boom.
That's
done.
right. For people like me that like the fluffy stuff, that's like you said, it helps me, tailor my behavior, right? So that it's a comfortable interaction. And you're right. Like, once I understood that, it became, I, I've shared this before, I think, with you and with my audience in the circle, is that they really are committed and loyal and raving
Yeah.
fans, right? Because, like, it's once you have established that trustworthy, value authentic relationship,
Mm-hmm.
man, like, years of
Yeah.
relationship and years of repeat and return sales and all of the things. And
Yeah.
yeah, really
I
good
love that.
stuff. I do
And I think it's really
too.
important for knowing yourself too, in that, one thing that I talk with entrepreneurs about a ton is marketing, right? So marketing is obviously a piece of your sales process. And like right now, video is very popular, right? I mean, you just can't
Right?
get away from it. Video is everywhere, all over social media, everywhere. You should have video. But here's a really cool thing. So a D and an I, a driven and an interactive, are your very extroverted type personalities. S and C. I do this because I have a grid. S and C's, even though it really should actually be the opposite. S and C's are the majority of people. They are your more introverted personalities. So when I'm talking with one of them and they're like, oh my gosh, I just don't want to do video, that stresses me out, because they're looking at someone like me and you, who we show up and we do video and we have fun with it. We love it. We're front and center, right? Where our faces are right here. And we're fine with it. We can improv. We can do all these different things. And they look at that and go, oh my gosh. Ooh, okay. Like, I could do that, but it's going to take me about a month of planning. I need whew.
Yes.
So one thing that I share is you can do video without being in it. There are ways to market where you can do PowerPoints. You could do showing the product or the service that you do without you having to be in it.
Wow.
In your print, you could just have, because people do like people, right? We like to work with people. So even in your print copy, instead of having to be, there are ways that you can have just a picture of you with your print and the information, but that's not you front and center having to be, this extroverted person. There are so many ways that I think when you and I first talked, you said, oh my gosh, this would cut out a huge percentage of the questions that you field if people just knew this about themselves from the start. And I agree. I
Yes.
think it takes out a good, I would almost say 50 to 70% of a lot of the questions that we field every day with entrepreneurs, because they'll know this about themselves,
Yes.
how to
Right.
tailor that for themselves.
I love it. It's fantastic, and it totally leads into my next question. Like, don't you have some sort of sales success checklist or something that you do to kind of help people on this process? Tell me about that.
Yeah, I'll tell you, my heart breaks when I talk to an entrepreneur and they're not profitable. I've been there many times where you just keep spinning your wheels, you keep helping people. I mean, right? We got in the business to help people.
To
I
help.
don't know very many business owners who got into business to not help people, right?
Right. Yeah.
So their message is important. The information, their services are so important. And it was breaking my heart as I talked to these entrepreneurs, and they're not making any money. Nobody goes to the doctor's office, another service where they help, and expects
Mhm.
to get charity work from the doctor, right? And so from that standpoint and being able to explain that, it's like, no, regardless of whether you look at your business as a ministry, or, whatever, we have to pay our bills to continue to
Right.
help people. So, yes, I put together a very quick sales checklist of some ways that people can quickly implement. And if they implement them, I mean, I can't guarantee they'll be profitable,
Right.
but I have seen really great results from it. And because it's a very pinpointed um, method to just get people going in your system and start making some
Get
money.
them started.
Yeah.
Love it.
I
So
would love to
how would
see every
yeah.
sorry, I would love to see
No,
everyone
that's okay.
have their first $1,000 month and call me and say, "Yes, I got it." I
That's
didn't think that was a big deal until I started hearing people aren't even doing that. And I was like, "Oh my gosh. Okay,
right.
let's just get
Right. We
profit."
gotta I right, exactly. I love that. I love it, love it, love it. It is so it touches on the cornerstone of the community that I host regularly every Wednesday with independent patient advocates who are, all of us have these huge helping service hearts.
Yeah.
And I hear you so loud and clear. And I know that there are independent advocates out there right now. They're feeling that and so I love this. Where can they connect with you? How can these entrepreneurs that are just trying to figure out, where's that checklist that I can look at and try and get my feet underneath myself? How do they get that? And how do they connect with you?
Well, I'll have a few ways that they can get in touch with me. Obviously, Nicole, I'll send you that checklist. You can send it out to your group. Also,
Oh,
you
that'd
can
be
go to my
great.
LinkedIn. I share a lot of information there. I've got my weekly shows that I also do. We both enjoy those.
Yes, yes, we do.
But I am also putting together a consultation for those who are like, okay, the checklist, do the checklist first, go through that. But if you're like, okay, I'm just ready to get going, like, can we fast track this? I have
Perfect.
a nail your sales consultation that I normally do for 97. For your group, I'm going to do it for 77. And with that, they will actually get the sales disc profile,
Oh,
the
nice.
consultation with me, and because of the way these are set up, I can usually guarantee that they're going to walk away with about 3 really good steps to let's just get you profitable. Let's get you that
I'm gonna second
$5,000
that.
system.
I'm gonna tell you guys that that is I know that that will be absolutely your experience with Mariah. It has been mine. Just doing that activity with her was super helpful. So if you're struggling with sales, if that is, if you feel that, oh, I don't want to do that, like this is for you. Like
Yes.
seriously, this is for you. Connect with Mariah, get the checklist, take advantage of the offer she's giving us for the consultation and make a change. Like get your business in the profit, in the black, making some money. Like there is nothing that feels better than when you start making those profits, right? And it builds on itself and it's all of the things. So
Yeah.
I
Making
am
money gives
so
you a lot of
happy.
confidence. It's
Yes,
crazy
it
how that
does.
works.
It
Go
does.
figure.
It does. And I know that especially for my folks here as advocates, a lot of us don't come from this background of owning a business, making, generating revenue and like all of that stuff. And I have to tell you, every year I look at my annual reports and I'm just like, did I do like, and it is so empowering and it is so exciting. And the beautiful part of that is that when I look at those reports and I'm like, did I do that? I know that behind every dollar, there's a life that was impacted. And
Yes.
that's like powerful and priceless. And Mariah, I love the work that you're doing. And you know how much I love
Thank
hanging out
you.
with you.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you so very much. So if you didn't hear any of the rest of it, you guys, go connect with Mariah on LinkedIn. She'll help you with everything that you need to go from no, I don't want to do sales to okay, I can do this.
Yes. Yes. I love it. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so
Nicole.
much. Thank you. And you have a great weekend. And for everybody else, I hope to see you on Wednesdays in the circle. If you don't know what I'm talking about, connect with me on any of these social media platforms and let's talk about getting you into the circle. Take care. Bye,
Yay.
guys.
Bye.